Hey there, Rafikis. Welcome to the 34 podcast where we learn together. Hope everyone is doing good. I'm doing well myself and I'm so blessed. So today I want to talk about students in America, like living in America. Like when you get your visa, you're really excited, you're happy, you're like, yay, I'm going to America, I'm going to study. And it's really a privilege, like a lot of people really want to get that visa, but you have obtained it, you have earned it. So it's like amazing, like a privilege. You're in America, you're going to study abroad, like that's like a big deal, especially in our countries where, like, if people go to abroad to study, everyone is always like, wow, they're going to abroad to study, and it's really a good thing. But then there are like those things, like after you've come to America, there are like a lot of things which like just hinder you, or they just blow your mind when you are here. Some of them are like negative and some of them are positive, but then today I'm going to talk about like the negative things like students in America face, because you're far from home, you are starting from scratch because you're in a new country, you don't have friends, maybe you don't have family, but yet you are starting from scratch. So you can imagine how you're going to navigate, how you're going to, like, to live in between the people you don't know. But it's fun. Like, I'm so glad I came here. That's like the best decision I've ever made, and it's going good. But then before that, before like getting in this point, like I was a student, and like just fast forwarding, you've landed in America. First, no, even before you land, like the plane you're using is huge, is massive. You've never been in a big plane like that. You're almost like 200 passengers in, or even maybe more. So you're that that alone, the plane alone has just shocked you, because you're like, oh my goodness, this plane is huge. How are we surviving? And then like you've never even maybe used a plane before, so it's like the turbulence are scaring you. You're like, I'm going to die, I'm going to die. So like, and the people are sitting with that just know, they just know, like, this person, I think it's the first time for them. And just when you land in America, culture shock is the first thing. Like you get slapped with culture shock, because now for me and my sister, we landed at Puerto Rico. Culture shock, language barrier. So you're going to talk to someone and you're like, okay, excuse me, and they're like, no entiendo inglés. You're like, okay, what are they even saying? No entiendo inglés. And mind you, that airport doesn't have Wi-Fi. So you can imagine how frustrated we were. It doesn't have a Wi-Fi. We're supposed to meet with our dean outside. So like it was super crazy. It was just, what are we going to do? We don't have Wi-Fi, so we can't even communicate. But luckily enough, there's this guy who, like, I think he saw us, we're just stranded, and he was like, hey guys, where are you going? We're like, okay, we are from Kenya. We're supposed to meet our dean here. We are students, we're new students from Kenya. So he was like, okay, I can help you guys. He gave us his phone and we had to call our dean. So we linked up and we went. It was really amazing, like how, like, sometimes there are good people out here. Not everyone you meet is bad, or like, yeah, sometimes talking to a stranger can be a blessing or a curse at the same time. But that was our blessing, and that was our angel right there. Just knowing, like, we are stranded, we don't know what to do, like language barriers there, we don't know any Spanish. So everywhere you could go, sometimes even nobody could talk to you, because they're like, okay, they're speaking in English, I don't know anything. So like, yeah, that was our dilemma there. And also like just the food. Another culture shock is the food. The food you're getting there is not the same as home. It doesn't taste the same. Like, you can go to the store and get whatever you want to eat, but it's not the same. It doesn't have the same taste. So like for you to just get used to the food too, like, there's a lot of fast food you have to get used to it, because yeah, back home there's a lot of fast food, but it's not like something which you eat at daily basis. So because you cook every day and it's fresh food, so you have but the thing which I like about the college I was in, we were cooking for ourselves. So like you could cook whatever you want, but then like you have to put a lot of things so that it tastes. But it was cool. Again, just socializing, like you have to learn how to socialize, because you've left all your friends back home. So you have to build like a good rapport with people, like make friends around. So it's hard, especially for me. I'm not that like a social bad. Like sometimes I just like, okay, I have my sister, is fine, and I'm so happy, and so I thank God because we went there with my sister. Because sometimes I used to think like, what if I could be by myself? How could I even navigate? Because it's really hard for especially a person like me. I'm not that social. Sometimes I'm just like, okay, I have my sister, I'm good, or I have two friends, I'm fine with them. But like when you go to a different country, it's hard for you to just stay by yourself, because you'll be there for forever. That's like your college year, and maybe your course is taking like 4 years or 5 years. Like you have to find friends, you have to find people who will be talking about your country, who will be talking about their culture, different cultures. So you have to like make friends, and it's hard. Like international students like find hard to make friends because first of all, maybe the language. Yeah, they're speaking English where we were, they're speaking English, but then sometimes the pronunciation is different. Like you can pronounce something and someone is like, what do you mean by that? So it's hard. Yeah, you know English, you can communicate with them, but their pronunciation is different. They're like, the meaning of the words are different. Like for example, I'll just use this an example. You say like, maybe you're using a car and you put your things in the trunk. For us in Kenya, we say boot. Like, open that boot, I put my stuff. But then here they say trunk. So there's a time we had gone to a store and we were shopping. Then I was like, okay, would you mind opening a boot I put my stuff in? And everybody was like, she said boot, and I was like, yeah, this is a boot. But then, like this, like it's really difficult. It's really easy. Yeah, you're speaking English, but us is British English and it's American English. So you have to get used to that, to like to learn how to communicate, to learn the words they're using, to learn their vocabulary. It's hard. And also like just the dress code too. Like here it's different from back home, what you see back home, the way people are dressing. And here it's people are like free, they're free to dress whatever. But back home they're like kind of reserved, because yeah, now it's like diverse, because we're in different eras. They're Gen Z's, they're millennials, they're whatever, they're boomers. So like it's like trendy. Like a lot of people, like a lot of countries, like people are dressing kind of the same. But like in Africa still, yeah, they're dressing the same, but then we still have that I think like that respect, I guess, if I can say so, because we still like people are dressing the same, but then we still have that respect. Is like, oh, I need to cover myself, but things like that. So like a student in America need to like learn all those cultures, because it's culture shock. Like the culture shock is really big. You just land and you find things and you're like, okay, I think I'm in a different state. And then even another one is like how to navigate. It's hard to navigate in America if you're an international student. First, maybe you don't have driver's license, you've never even driven a car, you've never even learned how to drive a car. So like you are zero, you don't know anything about driving cars. And everybody here has car, even like students have cars. And you're there from Africa, from Kenya, you don't know how to drive. How will you navigate? So you'll have to like ask for people to take you to the store, if you've seen, to just take you to see sceneries, beautiful sceneries. But then you have to go with their schedule. So you'll have to wait for their time when they're free. It's when they're like, okay, I'll take you at this time. And sometimes, it's become monotonous. You really want to ask, but then you're like, how will they feel? So, but they're good people. Like where I was, like the college I was, people are really willing to take us anywhere. But you have to like tell them early, okay, will you take me to this and this place, please? This and this time. And if they have time, honestly, they will take you without any complaint. And I was blessed to be in that area, because they were willing, and they knew like, okay, a lot of international students who come to this college, they are used to public transportation. So they were ready and know, like, okay, they don't know how to drive, maybe I'll be willing to take. And sometimes we could use like a church van. They had a church van there, but then we could pay like $2 if you're going to do shopping. But there are people who like could take you for free, which was really a blessing. So like navigation can be so hard for students in America, international students in America. And also just lack of money. Like when you're an international student, you're broke, always broke, you don't have money. Because sometimes you think like, okay, it's a work scholarship. Yes, but the work scholarship, which is like, they're not giving you money, they're not handing you money. Like the work you're doing, everything is going to pay your bills, like direct to your bill, direct to your school fees, like board and everything. So you can imagine, like, you're working but you're not earning money directly, but in something like that. I hope you understand. So everything goes to paying your bill, which is really good, because you can imagine if they give you the money, sometimes you're like, okay, I'm not paying my fees, but it's really good. But so like they are broke. And when you have like a student visa, it's hard for you to work outside the school. So you're just working in campus, you can't work outside the school. So I don't know if public university they do that, but I know a lot of university, when you have like a student visa, you can't work outside. So like you can imagine how you have to hustle hard, you have to be smart and working, just how to make money. If you're a guy, you can just go and work for people, like maybe cut grass, and it helps us a lot. It helped us a lot when we were there, because someone could give you work and you could work there, so you could earn money with that. Yeah, we weren't that broke, I will not say, but you can imagine if like you are in a university where like you don't get such opportunities as we did. And also for us, we were going to work at camp during summer. So like those are things which they were like positive. Like we found work outside, so like people could give us work, people from church family were good people, like teachers, good, our professors could give us work. So it was really nice. But you can imagine like the students who don't have like anybody, or even if you're going to church, they don't like, you don't have like that good relationship with people. So like you become broke, you can't like, you don't have money. So whatever you've gone with, you have to like be able to use it as like lowest as you can, so that you don't have to like to ask money every time to parents. Because yeah, parents, they will give you that. And sometimes affording is hard. But and then again, something is like, okay, they can send you money, but then when it comes to like, if you use like Western Union or MoneyGram, yes, they send you money. Like for the way I said earlier in the podcast earlier, for example, they send you like $700. When you get it, it's like 500. So like you can imagine, yes, you're getting money, but you're not getting the full money you want. So sometimes it's like, okay, you want them to send money, but then it's loss for you both, because you don't get the all amount you want. But it's hard. It's really hard to hustle in America if you're a student. And also just the missing out of family back home, because there's a lot of things you miss when you're a student, international student. Like you miss those family gathering you are having when you are home. You miss the birthdays, you miss the, especially for us, me and my siblings, my sister, we missed like our niece's birth. Like they send you pictures, but sometimes you really want to be in that, you just see the moments, but you miss that because you are far from home. You can't be going home every time, especially like it's expensive to go home. It's almost like now it's like $2,000, I think, to go. Yeah, $2,000 to go to America, to go to Kenya. So you're a student, you can't go home, so like you have homesick, you miss out on everything. You hate being in like that FOMO, fear of missing out, but then you've missed out on everything. So like every time people are like, yeah, we did this, but you are missing out. So even that relationship with some of your family members, you don't have anymore. And maybe you had good relationship with your family, but sometimes, like especially to extended family, sometimes you can't have that relationship again, because you are missing out in a lot of things the Christmases you miss. Like sometimes I just think about it and I'm like, oh my goodness, I missed a lot. And sometimes they're just telling you like, hey, you remember your cousin now is in like high school or is in university, they have a baby, and they're like, oh my goodness, I've missed out in a lot. We missed a lot of things because you have homesick, and you just sometimes you understand your parents. Like anyway, they can't afford that. They can't be. I can't be going home anytime I want because it's super expensive. Another thing which like students like miss out is just like, yeah, just making friendship. Like the way I said earlier about the culture shock, just making friendship is hard. You really want to make friendship, but like you can't. And sometimes you will make, but then like like the way they grew up is not the same as you grew up. So like there's a lot of things you have to learn. You'll have friends, but you have to learn. Sometimes I even just pray like you just get friends which you like, you are in like in a same environment in a way. Like maybe if you're a Christian, you just get Christian friends, so that like at least you'll be the same in that alley. And it's really hard to get that. And also like during holidays, it's lonely. That's the time like even depression kicks in, because you miss out in that, because you really want to go home, you really want to be on Christmas, but you can't. So like you are thinking that, and sometimes you wonder like, what will I do, where will I go during that time? And people are good, they invite you, but then like you go to people's family and it's time, it's their tradition, so you're just there looking wondering, because you're missing home. Like your mind is there, but not all your mind, because you're missing home. You really want to be home, but you can't be home because it's expensive. So you have to just be in that be in that area with your friends. And so even like another thing is just your relationship with your friends back home change. Like you try so hard for you to communicate, to make that bond continue, but then no, it's just drifting. It keeps on drifting, because you can't be the same again. Like you can't be communicating, because again the time is different. Like you're like 7 hours behind, or so it's difficult for just international students to like keep connecting with their friends back home. And sometimes you just understand, because even them, they're trying to communicate, but then like when you communicate is they're sleeping. So when you chat with them, you're chatting, but then when will you get the reply? After 7 hours or after 5 hours? So it's like you want to be friends with your friends back home, but then like just the timing, the hours, it's really difficult. But for me, like even like for me, I've just lost some of my friends, like which we were really close to. Getting in touch was really hard, because you are trying, you're a student, maybe they're working like they're back home, they're working, and you're a student here. So like you have homework, you have like work scholarship, you have to finish that, and then they're working. So like it's hard. Even like on weekends, we could talk to them, but then like I don't think it's the same again. It won't be the same, because it's difficult. That connection is, and then like you are not there. So maybe the outings you are going, you are not going there anymore. So you're just communicating through phone. So it's hard for that, with that. And also like just finding a job. Finding a job as an international student is hard. Yes, you have papers. Maybe you're in a school which they're accredited. You'll do OPT, but like after OPT, like maybe if you've gone to OPT and then like you've practiced there, but maybe they don't want to give you a job anymore, you have to go back home. And maybe getting, if like now, especially in Kenya now, getting a job is hard. So you don't have a job here, you have to go home, you don't have a job. So it's hard. I can't even explain it more, because it's hard. Like, because now you've finished your 4 years, you've gone for OPT, you finish, maybe it's 6 months. I think OPT is 6 months. So after your 6 months, you now start think like, and maybe the school which you've done OPT, or a place, whichever place you go and do your OPT, they can give you work, because then they have to like do everything for you. They have to write a letter, you have to fill forms, so it's hard for you to to go there again to just get a job. So you have to, maybe now if you want to get a job, is you further your studies, now you go do a degree, so like your papers to be more, for you to be able to get a job. So you have to do that so that you can get a job. So like you can imagine, you don't have money again to continue learning or to continue doing a PhD or a master's. So you'll have to just to go home. What will you do? It's hard. International students, it's really happy you are in a country, you are international student, but there's a lot of things we go through, which it's reality. It's a reality check. And especially for female, again, it's hard because the salons are expensive. You can't do your hair sometimes, because sometimes they don't tell you all these things. Because if you come, maybe you come with dreadlocks, maybe those ones can, they last longer. You can stay even with them for 6 years if you know how to maintain them. But if you come with braids, as we came, I think I did like just the normal braids, or was it Afro kinky? I think Afro kinky. So like in 1 year, you can't even stay with them 1 year, because it just reached like a point you're like, you know what, let me just get rid of this thing. So you undo them. Now the struggle begins. It's hard. It's just hard for a girl. So sometimes you're like, okay, should I just shave my hair? Should I just cut my hair? But it's expensive. And like learning about how to use, again, like money exchange, because obviously back home you use shillings, but here you use dollars. So going to the store, you're like, okay, you're going to look for maybe kale, and kale is like $3 here. Now you start saying, I can't buy $3 just for kale. So you start like converting them in Kenyan shillings, and that is something which drain us a lot. And it's like, okay, I can't buy this, like, wow, I can't buy this, because you're converting them. So like you have to learn again just to be be open-minded, because you're in a different country. So you have to be open-minded on how to use the currency, on how to save money. And also international students, again, they grow up fast. When they were like 17 years old, you have to be like 20 years old or 25 years old, because you have to learn how to save, you have to learn how to navigate, you have to learn how to make friends, because you've started everything from scratch. So it's like starting everything from scratch, because everything is new to you. So guys, thank you so much for the support you gave me, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. The link is on my Instagram page, the 34 podcast. And as you say, kesho pia ni siku. Adios.